So I paid €130 for 12 Mashgang alcohol-free beers, so you don't have to. Was it worth it? Would I do it again? Look, none of these will be going in my beer fridge, but I enjoyed almost all of them, and I would definitely drink them if I saw them when I'm out and about. But who is Mashgang, and what is their story? Look, it's not your typical craft beer story. This is Mashgang, and their story starts with a group of friends, a global pandemic, Telegram chat, and some non-alcoholic morning champagne that ignited an idea. If you want to hear the Mashgang story from Mashgang themselves, I've linked an interview in the description. It basically began with an arms race in low alcoholic drinks, with each person claiming to have one up to the next with something even more ludicrous or more expensive than the last. So basically they were doing this until a crazy idea surfaced. One person said, look, I bet I could make a better beer than this. And the bet was taken, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, here's the thing. They had zero brewing experience. Their budget was a little more than a shoestring. But as all good stories go...
Let's just say I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy
who was a brewer and could help. Fueled by passion and a healthy dose of DIY and the punk spirit, they scraped together some cash and started experimenting. Look, it wasn't easy. They faced a lot of challenges, learning everything kind of the hard way from brewing to marketing. They said that the failures were harsh, but they became valuable lessons. Now, Mashgang is offered directly in the UK, USA, and Australia, with distribution in Europe through some of their partners in the Netherlands. And what I like is that they are really growing and expanding the non-alcoholic beer market with real passion and enthusiasm. Something that's really interesting about Mashgang, it appears that they don't have one big, large brewery where everything is created. They've taken more of like a Gypsy Brewing method, and they've scaled it. And you know, they've obviously added in a splash of really amazing marketing kind of mixed in there. Wait, what is Gypsy Brewing, I hear you ask? So Gypsy Brewing is when a brewer doesn't own their own brewery and instead they work with existing brewers to use their equipment to create a beer. These are usually like smaller batches. They might move from one brewer to another based on availability. Look, I think Mashgang are using fixed brewers who help to produce their beer, so it's not technically Gypsy Brewing. They may be working with sort of like contract brewers or host brewers, but I think Gypsy Brewing sounds very cool, so we'll call them Gypsy Brewers rather than kind of host brewer. I think, yeah, it just sounds a bit more fun. Anyway, back to the story. They don't operate out of their own brewery. Instead, they have kind of multiple locations where they brew from. And I think this is also a very smart idea. Like they're partnering with existing brands to help grow their beer, and through this they would also have like a lower setup cost, and it would allow them also to kind of quickly expand into different regions without huge overheads or kind of trouble, as well as they're getting like amazing experience in managing brewing this kind of way with this kind of technique. Obviously, it might impact quality because they can't quality control as well as if it was your own brewery, but there are obvious kind of advantages for this strategy and expansion and distribution, definitely lowering the assets and liabilities risk. So look, I think this is a really clever way, especially for alcohol-free beer, and it's obviously working for them. But what is special about Mashgang? So Mashgang create unique and surprising and interesting flavors that you kind of wouldn't expect for beers and alcohol-free beers, from things like the cereal to your cold brew. They really like to kind of push the boundaries and show that alcohol-free beer doesn't have to be boring or tasteless. Their dedication has definitely paid off. Mashgang beers have become really fan favorites and popular. And really boiling it down, it's just five friends who had a really great vision. It's really almost kind of like a reinvention of beer making and beer branding and marketing. I think, I work in the tech world, and working in the tech world, I think that would be called kind of like a scale up style of the way they're doing this implementation of their brand and their product. So look, I think it's very smart the way that they've set it up. They really have a chance to kind of explode onto the alcohol-free beer market. They're also not just about beer, so they're really building a great community. They've got an amazing Instagram channel that seems to really resonate with a lot of people. They've got great, as I say, great marketing. Use a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor with their customers, and I think that they've had a really amazing journey so far. Started off as a bit of a pipe dream, but it's definitely growing into what seems like a really successful business. They've even landed, looking at their blog, they've landed a grocery store listing. So that means that they're hopefully gearing up to be able to, bring Mashgang to a bigger market. Look, I think they're doing an amazing job of the alcohol-free beer market. They're showing that, great tastes can be non-alcoholic. The only feather that they haven't got into their cap is delivery to Europe. When I wanted to get my hands on Mashgang beer, I had to dig through the underbelly of Instagram to try and find out how they deliver to Europe. Their website shows that you can buy it in euros, but it doesn't deliver to you to Europe. I ordered through a website called Order 0.5. I think that's like order 0.5 in Dutch. And there's a pretty hefty price difference between what the Mashgang offer on their website and what's ordered on this website. So, look, I'm going to review all the beers. And I'll do them all separately, but for availability, so one part of my review I always go through availability. It's only a 2 out of 5 for me. If they deliver to Europe, definitely will change that. If you want to see the Mashgang alcohol-free beer reviews, have a look at this playlist up here. Otherwise, thanks for watching and cheers.